Have you ever seen a president who refuses to accept blame, and I want to add to that, commits so many falsehoods? I'm being very polite here, calling it falsehoods. Falsehoods, on any given day, he's out there saying stuff that just ain't true. You ever seen anything like that?
Never in my lifetime. I said today that there has never been a time in my life where a president was more disconnected from the American people.
Former Vice President Mike Pence there appearing with Larry Kudlow in the most ironic segment that you will ever see. He was asked, have you ever seen such a liar as president? Vice President Mike Pence, the vice president for Donald J. Trump. Have you ever seen a president lie to the degree that Joe Biden lies? I've never seen such a thing. Maybe he should see this, watch.
Mike Pence, and I hope Mike is gonna do the right thing. I hope so, I hope so. Because if Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election.
Mike Pence had a chance to be great. He had a chance to be, frankly, historic. But just like Bill Barr and the rest of these weak people, Mike, and I say it sadly because I like him, but Mike did not have the courage to act. But as you heard a year and a half ago, Mike Pence had absolutely no choice but to be a human conveyor belt. He was a human conveyor belt. Even if the votes were fraudulent, they said he had to send the votes, couldn't do anything.
So weird how that works, Mike Pence. It's he kind of focused on you that entire time. So apparently Mike Pence has never seen anyone lie like Biden. So apparently, since this is what Donald Trump said, he doesn't lie. Mike says that he is weak. Mike says that he doesn't have any courage. Mike says that he's a human conveyor belt. Mike Pence agrees with Donald Trump because he's never seen anyone lie like Joe Biden does. Also, apparently Mike Pence believes that he should have been hung out in front of the Capitol that day because that's also what Donald Trump believes. And Donald Trump said, and his supporters said. Oh, really, it's great how that works. Maybe you should ready to sacrifice yourself since these lies never happened. Maybe you could have overturned the election. You know what, in fact, what Mike Pence said in response to all that was, Donald Trump is wrong. So which one is it, Mike? Is it your political aspirations that's still alive? Or maybe it's this. Let's look into some more details here, because Trump's false or misleading claims totaled 30,573 over 4 years. Yes, the Washington Post, I believe this is the Washington Post, they kept track of this types of things. More details. He averaged about 6 claims a day in his first year as president, 16 claims a day in his second year, 22 claims a day in his third year, 39 claims a day in his final year. He just kept ramping it up. He built off of his own success. Put another way, it took him 27 months to reach 10,000 claims and an additional 14 months to reach 20,000. He then exceeded the 30,000 mark less than 5 months later. But Pence continues to downplay this whole thing, the significance of January 6th and his involvement in that day, even though he said over and over again, and this January 6th committee is praising him as this courageous guy who finally did something right. Well, apparently he's back on the wagon, and he's back to following anything Donald Trump may want to say. He recently referred to that day in the hearing that is followed as a distraction by Democrats. He says January 6th was a tragic day, and I know we did our duty, but I'll always be proud of our record, is what he said with Fox News Digital following this speech on the economy at the University Club of Chicago. And I'm not going to allow the Democrats to use that tragic day to distract attention from their failed agenda or to demean the intentions of 74 million Americans who rallied behind our cause. How about those few tens of thousands of Americans who went and said they're gonna kill you? Should we not derail them, Mike? Again, just sacrifice yourself and we can get this whole thing over with.
I mean, it's amazing to see how he's trying to play it at this time. It's pretty incredible. And notice how he didn't agree with Larry Kudlow. He said, oh, Trump is out of touch with the American people. Almost like he knew his God might strike him down in that moment for saying such an insane falsehood. And he's a God-fearing man, but I would actually push back and say he's not a God-fearing man. He's a Trump-fearing man. He's a MAGA-fearing man. And once again, this is the road to fascism is paved in weak-ass Republicans. That is what is happening here. And you got Mike Pence, whose head was on the chopping block by the president of the United States for failing to illegally overturn a democratic election, and he's now on board with them. It is an incredible example of cowardice. I mean, you look like this is just cowardice, the dictionary definition of it. And he would sacrifice his body if it meant that Trump could be reelected. I mean, it is so shameful. I don't even know what to say. I don't have any words anymore.
It's desperation. It's almost like someone who needs a job and they're on the verge of homelessness or something. He thinks, oh, this was my plan: become vice president, kiss Donald Trump's ass for 4 years, then come forward and be the next Republican leader of the party. It ain't working out, bro. He's still around. He still thinks you should die. He still thinks they should murder you. So how you gonna? He's trying to find a way to even that reality out with his aspirations. It's not working out,
JD Vance it. You know what I'm saying? Like, can he JD Vance this? Can he Ted Cruz this? Can he Kellyanne Conway this? Can he do every single person who hated Trump, who warned us about Trump, every single Republican who then flipped and became like #1 foot soldier? Well, we'll see.
There he is. We'll see. Last thing, sacrifice yourself then, Mike. Make it a reality.